Like Common the musician and actor? Or do you mean like I first read it, like, when you say good comms, or I need comms, like you're commsing, dude, I love De La Cruz. He's so, dude, absolutely electric. Oh, hold on. Speaking of it, while I have you here, Serge, I guess it'd be great if Matchy was here too, so I can kill two um baseball stoners with one moment here, but not kill y'all, But hold on, yo. Okay, a couple of them. I actually have several of these posts. I haven't done a sport like a CreedCenter sports recap, but while we're here, um, I'm sure you've seen something like this. Speaking of Michael Malone Clipper, you got this where like Hakeem Olajuwon's best ever season average for points is essentially 28. Jokic has more. Patrick Ewing rebounds, best ever single season average. Jokic has more. Larry Bird, best ever assist average for boom. You get it. He's incredible. Um, this is the baseball one I want to show you, Serge. Hold on. Yo, look at this play. All in one fluid motion. Ohio State, West Virginia. Robs the homer at the wall. And you got Jordan. Hell yeah, building up the packs. I got the dude to do a big pack opening, closing in on a. Does Diamond Dynasty do so on FIFA? On the weekends, you have like the weekend league, and you basically have all weekend. Oh, I need to pause the game. Hold on. You basically have all weekend to play 30 matches, and you're trying to get your best record over those 30 matches for the weekend. Does it have something like that? Okay. Anyway, sorry. Let's start this over. Robs it at the wall with I mean, absolutely no backlift, no need to crow hop, no need to step into the throw. They just started a weekend league this year called Weekend. Damn. So, FIFA's obviously the godfather of all of those kind of little sports pack things, creative teams. And so it's interesting that it took them this long. I figured they would have had that, but that is cool. I mean, it does. I mean, there's something about a game, maybe not rewarding you, but incentivizing you to play it on the weekend that sometimes, if done right, can be really fun. Can you? I keep wanting it to just restart, but I guess that's too much to ask, huh? Where else on Twitch are you getting highlights from West Virginia versus Ohio State college baseball? Thank you. Thank you. Is the only player to ever be in top five. No, what's even more impressive still is, if I remember correctly, it's something along the lines of like he's the first person since maybe Wilt, or basically pre 70s, pre 80s at least, but like the first since pre 80s to be in the top 10 in all five. And then he's the only one ever to be in the top five in all five. And he's actually he's in the top two or three in at all the categories. So it's like you extend the criteria to top five, but it's even like he's top two or top three. Absolutely insane, absolutely insane. I think I actually have one of those. Hold on. Yo, I love talking tactics and X's and O's. Anyone knows me loves like talking about hook defenders and zone defenders and who runs and like is the underneath defender running in palms coverage, or are we in quarters, etc. And Luke Kuechly is my favorite football player that's not a Steeler ever. Georgia Bulldog, damn good dog. Someone who tore both of his ACLs, I think each twice, and still played at an all pro, or like maybe at worst third team all pro level. And like anytime you start talking about like things to the boundary versus the field side, so you're on the left hash mark, your boundary side of your formation is here, the short side of the field. The field is obviously the more open side, and with you being on the left hash mark, that's that. I need him in all of the like sports media talking football. And this is so fire. So he's brilliant. To me, should be a first ballot Hall of Famer. I love Luke Kuechly, but the also so him to shout out another and like I love the breakdown of this. And that's something you don't think about. Like if you're the linebacker there and you play snaps, you have to get depth. So you almost turn your back and you're looking at certain cues in your peripheral and like that's something that I know that I often even my mind don't doesn't think about is like the jam of the cornerback and what kind of vision it gives the linebacker who's trying to get depth. They're not showing Luke, but he's right here off the camera to the right. Oh, I'm. By the way, I'm sorry. I didn't even. This is has not. This was not supposed to be a Cowboys thing for you, Serge. I just made that connection, but obviously this is a decade ago. But I just love how he shouted out the cornerbacks work there too. Um, yo, to compare how the game is now, I don't know if this is the first ever Euro step, but oh, look at this. The thing is, not only should this not have been called a travel. Like this obviously would not be called a travel today. It shouldn't have even been called a travel then. Look at the another Georgia Bulldog. Thank you. I actually have a Dominique bobblehead. Look at this. Whoop whoop. I mean, clean. 1, 2. Literally, even like without a gather step, without any interpretation, that's clean in 1930. Let alone when this would have been in the 90s, late 80s, early 90s. I mean, literally 2 steps, and they called that a travel. It was against the Celtics. They were probably like, "Oh no, 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 you can't do that." This is from a couple years ago. You love baseball. This one's fire. This one's from the College World Series from a couple years ago. The first baseman is who we're paying attention to here from LSU, Trey Morgan. This was the team with Paul Skeens and Dylan Cruz. Look at Trey Morgan. Incredible. This doesn't put it in perspective in terms of what like this is in the College World Series. This was to extend their life there before they eventually go and win the World Series. Put his foot down, change direction with the ball over his head. Yeah, right. When I think of Euro, I think of more of the like almost the power hop. Whereas he almost just kind of in one motion was just almost move like kind of like a defensive end who's doing a swim move versus the actual like a hop into it. But either way, that's like so hard. It's like that shouldn't have been called even back then. What are they doing? I wish Instagram had a freaking volume bar. Dude, look at this and then the quick shovel. Oh, no way. Creed, get a better clip. All right, I just wanted to show that the thing that I showed, and then Jokic. Um, I'll have to find it later. Yo, Kevin Harlan's the goat. Deflected by me. I know his daughter Olivia. She's married to Sam Decker, who went to Houston. He was a part of the. No, I'm sorry. He went to Wisconsin. He was a part of the Wisconsin like Cinderella run with Frank Kaminsky, and then Sam Decker eventually went to play at the Houston Rockets for a while. Yo, so you know the Southeast and Augusta got hit by that hurricane back in October, late September, Hurricane Helene, right? And you can this there's some of the shots that compare the golf course before and after. So the now I my OCD it frustrates me that they put the after picture on the top and the before on the bottom, but maybe that's just me. But the bottoms are the before, and you can clearly see how many trees, which is going to be interesting because part of what makes Augusta so great of the many things is the roars of Augusta. And a lot of that is because of the trees and the course itself and the way that it kind of slopes down. It kind of they like reverberate and it echoes and it's kind of like the acoustics of it work really well. So I'm curious this year, is it gonna make it like more like is the removal of some trees gonna open up the passage so even more sound gets through, or is there gonna be less trees for it to bounce off of, yada yada. But all right, here's one shot. Here's another. This one's kind of tough to tell. It's really the stuff in the background. Same here. It's just kind of, I guess, the density of it. I mean, this hole looks so much better now, though. Less of the Georgia pines, but no, this is before, after. Again, but what they mainly did, and this is something that the city of Augusta has, and a lot of cities in the southeast after getting a hurricane, is they learned that some trees, in particular the pine, is just not good. There's a reason why cities that have to deal with hurricanes all the time put palm trees everywhere because they're very bendy. The way their roots get into the soil, it helps them not get uprooted as easily. And then, of course, when they do kind of snap and splinter apart, you're just getting palm fronds, the giant leaves, not branches and pine cones and stuff like that. Um, but I bring that up because what it really looks like they did is, since they lost so many pines, instead of replacing it with pines, they replaced it with other types of trees, or in this case, the flowers. But on like this one, it just looks like instead of a lot of the pines, they replaced it with these smaller, not pines. But anyways, Augusta being your boy's hometown, I'm not going to show this, but this is a super good breakdown. And I'm not a Draymond Green fan, like at least his antics and stuff. But in terms of his defense off the ball, pre switches again. Speaking of the contest, and if Steele's still here, we were talking about it in the national championship game last night, but I cannot get over Walter Clayton's closeout last night. My man's closeout was incredible. I'm getting annoyed with the Masters and their stupid rules. Which one? What do you mean in reference to this time? But the way they're so weird about their course is rough. What you mean? Is he? Oh, is wait. This isn't his first time back though, is it? But this time, definite playoffs. Well, for the Lakers, their positioning. I think the Mavericks are probably out of it. It's hard to tell. I saw recently that like basically third place to 11th or something, fourth to 11th in the West were all separated by like 4 games. I had forgotten about that. That was what, from 2 years ago, maybe. Well, it's funny. So I went last. Well, I get to go most years, but I bring that up because last year on Tuesday, I didn't hold that, but that's just 2024. On Tuesday, I was near the putting green and I saw like what seemed like a team of like executives from Malbon. I mean, first off, it's four dudes, all clearly wealthy as hell, all decked out in like Malbon gear, even like a Malbon watch, and I got the sense that like maybe it was almost like a corporate sponsorship element to it. Like though they all like all the Malbon maybe got X amount of passes and they gave it to certain people. And I bring that up because this year I actually saw that the Augusta National Golf Club and Malbon are collaborating on something. I couldn't entirely tell what it was. So maybe they're gonna come around to that surge and be a little more hip on that. Because that's just two instances, obviously anecdotal, but I remember seeing them last year on Tuesday at the practice green, and then I'll have to pull up Instagram again at some point. But well, I'm technically on it, but I don't think I saved that. Anyways, I was scrolling. I get a lot of Augusta stuff, even when it's not Masters Week, because it's my hometown and the algorithm, all that. And I just remember something like a collaboration, maybe a golf bag. So, anyways, maybe they eventually come around to that. I agree. I love Malbon's fit too. Oh no, I also remember. I don't want to dox her. Damn. Okay, hold on. Let me try to find a way to do this without doxing the homie. So one of my friends, her name, well, that doesn't matter, but she went today, and she's rocking this. And while it is 100% Masters gear, right? It is clearly kind of inspired a bit by the Malbon's aesthetic recently. And so again, I don't know where it's gonna lead, but hopefully they do come around to that kind of stuff. The little like that the stripes and then the text underneath the flared flaps. I don't know how to describe it. I don't, but like there's like the flaps and then the text in between the flaps. Does that make sense? Yeah, dude, fire. I don't know if that's like just a gender neutral outfit for this year, or you know what I mean. Like it could be, it's whatever you want to call it, but or if it's a one. What I'm getting at is even if that is officially ladies merchandise, I would rock that because that shit is fire. Let me not dox her. Her name is, yeah, I didn't mean to do that. Boom. But yeah, she went today. I saw her post, and then I saw the other thing. So maybe again, it's like maybe they're just dropping little nuggets. Because I bet you if they just came out and just did it all at once, like, hey, we're cool with Malbon now, there will be a lot of people who be like, what about the, like hypocrisy? You just went after Jason Day. So they maybe got to like, from like a public relations thing, like let's just drip feed the Malbon Masters collab. Little box, the Masters feed, because, and I don't even know what the copyright thing is, because keep in mind, the Masters is essentially the only sporting event in the world, as far as I know, that does not charge for broadcasting rights. Like CBS and ESPN, they do not pay any money. But in exchange for that great deal, Augusta National keeps control of certain elements. For example, there are certain things that they cannot show. No matter how much CBS wants to do a cool, heartwarming segment, Make-A-Wish kid asked to go see Berkman's place. Nah, sorry, bud. Like there's just certain things that you cannot see on the course, right? Alien artifacts and body parts, probably, right? But so like some of the things they decide what can be shown, what cannot be shown. There's other little rules. Like I don't know if you've ever noticed this, but a commentator at Augusta National, they will never call the people there fans or the crowd. They're always the patrons. You will never hear it called the rough. It's always the second cut because they want to hoity-toity, little classy, right? So I bring that up because technically CBS and ESPN don't pay for this stuff. And then two, all of the Masters coverage is available for free on the Masters website. So I actually don't know. I'm not going to take the chance and show too much, but I was going to do a little box earlier. But unfortunately, no one was practicing at the time when I went to go do it. The Masters have the best social media team, maybe of any company of anything in the world. Like they're so good, and they ramp up during Masters week. I mean, ramp up. That's not me. Tuesday's my favorite practice day, bar none. It's because of the skipping of the 16 pond patrons. You know, like this one because it rained. I mean, pouring monsooning on Monday. They do this post, and it's like April showers, and it's through the years. So dope. Nick Faldo, Crenshaw. Oh, Arnie. It's kind of loud though. Sorry, y'all get it. Fire post, dude. They're just so good. And then this, I'm not gonna go through it. This actually, I should have included this in Newsday. This is wholesome. Augusta National is collaborating with Tiger Woods and his foundation to set up basically like a facility and try to give back to the Augusta community and the underprivileged and stuff like that. Super dope. I always love their posts where it shows the grounds crew working at like the butt crack of dawn. I mean, legends, dude. Absolutely legends. Can't wait. Tomorrow we got the par three. I like that they keep it unique and prestigious. Oh, I agree. I agree with that take. Especially especially with what happened. If like the clothes that they're wearing is clearly designed to be controversial or can bring the Augusta National in disrepute